What's going on, guys? Hey, how are you? Hold on. Yep. Okay, I just want to make sure we were good. Hey, Repeat back with you. It is another, hello, Saturday night showdown live from Darlington Raceway in the booth. As always, the one and only KS Gaming 51, otherwise known as the Elder Swatch Brothers. Swats, it's Darlington, Lady in Black, track too tough to tame. All kinds of damage we're going to see to the right side of these trucks as it goes on. How are you, sir? What are you expecting from this famed track, and are you ready to go?
What's going on, Pete? What's going on, everybody? I'm kind of excited to see what happens tonight. I watched the Darlington race for the Xfinity cars today in real life. It was a pretty exciting race to watch, so I'm kind of itching to see what happens tonight in these trucks. There's some really fast guys in the race. We saw Ryan Biles back in the race tonight. Hasn't been in the last few races. Dylan McDonald's been really fast. Tom Sears always seems to be right there at the end. There's going to be a lot of good guys on track tonight. I don't know what's going to happen. Most guys try to run that super high line right against the wall, but that is a spot known to get over the edge and scrape that wall and get that Darlington stripe. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of trucks with that stripe tonight, Pete, and we might see a few other trucks with some rear end damage because there's a lot of guys that like to push just before you go into that corner to try to get a guy to slide up and maybe get off the gas a little bit more to get underneath them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to say the least, the way that all these drivers get around. Talking about all these drivers, we're going to have over 20 guys that are going to be out here dueling it. I'm sorry, I'm kind of looking at a couple of different messages that I'm getting here, but going to be quite a few different guys dueling it out. And I was watching during practice, a lot of guys had the great throwback paint schemes. We'll go through them as we always do. But for now, Swats, let's go ahead and pick up on some guys as they're out here qualifying. First one is going to be the number 23 of Ryan Billy. In his 21, looks like swimwear.com or swim.com. Swimwear.com Chevy Silverado.
I'm trying to take a look at this thing. It's he's got a pretty nice truck. I'm seeing actually Premier Racing setup paint scheme.
All right. Let me go ahead and reset. I've actually reset my graphics like four or five times tonight to see Kerr's truck a little bit better, and his truck popped in the same as it was, so it may be a trading paint issue, not 100% sure. That's okay. So Titletown, that's what you were saying, update trading paint if you can. I just turned all the trucks gray and brought it back. Let's go ahead and pick up on Tristan Catania now as his is done. It looks like he's rocking an Ally number 48 to throw it back to old Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, I'm seeing a Lowe's paint scheme for the 48. It looks pretty cool. It looks like the old school Car of Tomorrow paint scheme, kind of that older model Lowe's paint scheme that Jimmy Johnson won his first few championships in. So hopefully maybe that brings some luck to Tristan Catania. He's had some bad luck the last few weeks, getting caught up in a lot of different incidents. Even in this qualifying session, he's got some damage on that right side and right front fender too. So
yeah, he definitely got his Darlington stripe very, very early. Rather get it in qualifying than during the race. So with him done, how about the number 14 RaceArcs.com truck for Tom Sears right now, tracking to be right around P number 8.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about this ARCS car, or this ARCS truck that Tom Sears brings every week, but I love the coloring. It's got kind of like that Arca Menards yellowish green kind of color to it, tint. But I love the way that he's got the paint scheme designed out with yellow and black mixed in there. I think it looks really cool. Tom's, somebody who we don't see usually qualify very well. He's usually in the middle to the end of the field, and then he comes in late. And he's usually one of the guys that's right there in the top 10 battling it out. We've seen him at the front. We've seen him, battle for second. Could tonight be his night? at Darlington. Could he pull an Allgaier and go off a 34 race streak of not winning to maybe pull off a win? I don't know when the last time Tom won. I think he already won this season, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't have the point standings up in front of me. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to grab that. There you go. Let's actually empty that out and try that one more time. There we go. But yeah, now kind of keeping an eye with the 85 of Jacob Blankenship. Talk about really throwing it back. He's bringing it back to the old Winston Cup paint schemes. Looks like a box of Winston cigarettes, which yeah they can't do anymore. But not bad at all.
Yeah, he's got the no bull paint scheme.
Yeah,
the Winston on the back. That's definitely a throwback for sure.
Absolutely. Jamie Kerr out there in chat saying not a good qualifying effort, but we are going to roll with it. I tell you what, Swats, wait till you see the paint scheme for Kerr out there on track. You know we're both big fans of the red, white, and blue. Pay tribute and respect to our Patriots, our veterans all the time. And he's got a all gave some gave all POWMIA paint scheme that just is absolutely beautiful. If it was on I told him before, if it was on a real t-shirt, I would actually buy it. The paint scheme is that good. So see how he does. So far it looks like there's about 5 or 6 people yet to qualify. Jacob Blankenship running a couple of extra laps, try to figure out exactly what he's got for this track. Definitely want to thank everybody that's out there in chat. We always appreciate every time you come out, hang out, chat it up, and keep me in SWAT's company each and every Saturday night. So welcome one more time.
Yeah, Pete, and I was actually looking. Sears does not have a win this season, so I was kind of on the right pace there. If he could, end that drought of not getting a win, I'd love to see him get a win. I know he's been battling it out a few times for the top 3. He's been right there at the end of races, just has not been able to get over that threshold and get that first win of the season. I think tonight could be his night. He's pretty fast. I mean, he doesn't have the top level speed, but he's right there in 8th right now in qualifying, and he's normally somebody that kind of lays back and kind of waits and doesn't really push the issue, and then all of a sudden at the end he's there. So we'll see what happens. Or does one of these other drivers who've already gotten a win? You got Cody Meadows sitting there with 4 wins. He's starting 9th right now as of qualifying going through here. Kerr's got 1 win, like you said. I'll be looking forward to that paint scheme. Gaiman's right there as well in the top 5 in qualifying so far. He's sitting 6th in the points with 1 win. And then you got Catania sitting there with 1 win. So do one of these other guys come out and get another win, or do we see another first-time winner?
I think it's very, very possible. I mean, Darlington's a very technical track. So watch 38 go on up and get his Darlington stripe early as well. Wes Fuller, I've gone ahead and reset my trading paints 3 or 4 times for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on. I might have to log back in and make sure that my Trading Paints Pro renewed. I just thought about that. I'll have to go back in and check. Being on a new computer, I can't promise that it did. I'll have to go through. But I'm seeing a lot of the paint schemes, and I'm guessing because I'm seeing a lot of the custom numbers and whatnot that it is. But for some reason, not everybody is showing up the way that it should. So 6 trucks left with the ability to qualify, but it so far have chosen not to. As you see your top guys over there on the left-hand side of your screen, so far it's going to be Pannell, Estes, Ray, Gaiman, Billy Wright, Brialt, Sears, Meadows, and Painter as your top 10, with George, Alexander, Blankenship, Yensing, McDonald, let me see, Wansing rather. Who am I missing here? I am seeing something completely. Painter, George, Alexander, Blankenship, Wansing, Kerr, Feemster, Catania, and Allen. Then those that haven't qualified yet are going to be Maddox, Withers, Ryan Pannell, Byron Jones, Dylan McDonald, and Nicholas Pressey.
Yeah, I see why Wes Fuller's saying to update that paint scheme for Dylan. It's actually really cool. He's got a can't fix stupid paint scheme, and actually the coloring's actually pretty cool. And then he's got the kind of bronze goldish kind of numbers on the side of it. So I see what Wes is talking about, but yeah, I'm not seeing it on your stream, so I don't know what's wrong with trading paints for you. But I think it's still showing some pretty cool paint schemes. So
saying hide card numbers. Trying to remember where that is. Bottom right in graphics.
You're already hiding it. You have it checked.
Okay.
It's right there at the bottom left, or bottom right, right above done.
Yep, got it. Okay. Yeah, so, no, it's already there, Lurking Tom.
Trading paints, so.
Yeah.
Did you exit completely out of trading paints?
I did, yeah. I exit out of trading paints whenever I turn my computer off. But let's see. So qualifying still, there's looks like Nicholas Pressey. He's going to go ahead and take his laps around in this number 94 Ford F-150. So I'll see how well he does in this Monaco machine.
Yeah, we've seen Pressey run a few times, and he's usually very, very fast. So I'll be surprised if he doesn't run very well from the back tonight and come through the field. He might be one of our biggest biggest movers by the time we're done with this tonight.
It's very, very possible. Yeah, it's been a while since we talked about Mr. Pressey. I don't actually recall the last race that he was in so far. With that first lap, though, sitting P number 10 pushed Dustin Painter back to P11, just behind Cody Meadows.
Out.
What happened?
iRacing just shorted out for me. It says there was a driver issue rejoining into the race now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was weird.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, we had a bunch of storms today. I don't know if you guys
had
there, but it was pretty bad. So we had the power go in and out a few times. I had shut my machine off a few times, and then Sarah, my wife, was working on some photos because her phone was full, so she was unloading a lot of her photos onto the PC, and she had gone to the store, and I had forgot to turn it back off. So power went out, so I was making sure that it didn't mess nothing up. But that's the first time I've seen that issue pop up. So hopefully that doesn't continue to happen.
Yeah, the other night in the SRN race, Greg Olenek actually lost power completely, came back up about 75 laps into the race, brought up the stream, we were good to go, and then the second caution in, my internet went out, and my power's been flickering on and off last couple days. So, yeah, hopefully tonight it'll be incident free, and we can get in here, get this race going, get it in the books. Maybe, as you said, crown a first-time winner, but we'll have to see. Yeah, Darlington you really got to make sure that you hit your marks, especially in 3 and 4. If you try to go through there too fast, you're going to have a problem. You're going to come up. You're going to get that stripe. And as we just saw in qualifying, a couple of guys that hit that outside wall early, they went right down into the inside wall. Very, very little opportunity to save it because you're carrying so much speed.
Yeah, this should be pretty interesting tonight. I'm wondering how many people survive to the end with a clean car. You know, I saw the other night in a race there that on Thursday on Speed Racing Network, one guy out of an entire race at Dover had 0 incidents, and he wound up winning the race. And he didn't stay in the front the whole time. So I'm wondering if anybody can maybe replicate that tonight. You know, there's a few drivers out here that are very, very clean, you know, don't have very many incidents ever. So we'll see if somebody else can put up a donut for the incident board.
Yeah, definitely very, very possible. Let's actually go ahead and...
It's not super likely at Darlington.
No, it's not super likely. It's possible, but not super likely. Let's actually go ahead and bring up your practice times. That way you can see exactly what everybody did during practice and kind of show you how they all stacked up. Joshua Gaiman was your fastest with a 29:35. Cody Pannell in second, about 600ths behind. Donald Ray also close right there in P3, just 7 100ths behind, not 6 100ths, but 7 100ths. Then just under a tenth behind was going to be Toby Estes First guy 1/10 or further behind is going to be Jason Alexander and Jeremy Brialt. So those guys really, doing everything that they could. Qualifying is now complete. Let's go ahead and get rid of that and bring up your grid right now. As soon as this decides it wants to work with me.
We got 24 people in the field tonight, Pete. This is going to be
an
interesting race at Darlington.
There you go. So
2x2 all the way back 12 rows. It's going to be nice.
All right, so Cody Pannell, he is going to be your pole sitter, or pole winner. With Toby Estes 2, you're outside. Donald Ray starting P number 3. Josh Gaiman P4. Ryan Billy P5. Briley Wright in P6. Jeremy Briel, Tom Sears, Cody Meadows, Nicholas Pressey. It's going to round out your top 10. Swatch, you want to take us through the rest of the way?
Sure, you got Dustin Painter in that 49 North American Motor Car sitting 11th. Elridge George in the 40 sitting 12th. Jason Alexander in the 53 sitting 13th. Jacob Blankenship in that 85 you were talking about earlier, Pete, sitting 14th. Seth Watson sitting 15th in the 9, running looks like a Chase Elliott A-Shock Energy paint scheme. James Kerr coming to that nice paint scheme you were talking about, black, what is that? Oh, it's the Marines. Okay, so I see it. It's coming through. Beautiful paint scheme. I'm really liking that. Yeah, there's a lot of different things on there. POW. I'm really liking that 75 now. Kevin Feemsdibber in the 2. Tristan Catania in the 18th spot is going to be in that 48 Ally Lowe's cross paint scheme that we saw earlier. Patrick Allen's going to be in the 45 Rogue Energy paint scheme in the 19th spot. Dylan McDonald in that looks like Joka paint scheme sitting 20th, Pete.
All right, 21st is going to be Tommy Withers with Byron Jones sitting 22nd. Ryan Pannell in the 23rd spot, and to round out your field, as you said, 24 truck strong, 12 rows of side by side is going to be Daniel Maddox. Just a little bit of an error, even though the 29 is for Byron Jones. His truck actually says 44 on it. Just unable to fix that. But yeah, Team Money, I see out there in chat saying, "Let's go, boys! Let's go ahead and clear this up right now. Let's get ready to go racing one more time. Darlington Raceway, Darlington, South Carolina. On the money, pace truck is off. Swats, we're going green."
Yeah, Pete, this is going to be very exciting. We're going to go green here. That 28 is going to lead him down into turn 1. Who's going to survive through turn 1? That's where the slide job, try to slide up in front of that guy and get single file. 2x2 is not a very good idea through a lot of these turns.
No, 2x2, you're going to want to get single file very, very fast. 28 got a great jump. 5's going to try to work underneath the 78 as well. Here comes the 23 of Ryan Billy and Jeremy Brialt, already up 2 spots from 7th to 5th to round out your top 5.
Yeah, 28 looks really nice in that Haviline paint scheme. Normally seeing that guy driving, or a guy we know, Jordan Bain, driving that paint scheme on console when we were over there.
Yep.
That 23 looks really nice too of Ryan Billy. That paint scheme, it looks kind of scattered all over the place with different colors, so it's a spectacle to see on track. There's a lot of cool trucks tonight. That Donald Ray, though, I was really hard on him through the first couple races of the season. I always saw him at the front. I thought he'd be one of the winners, and then he just hasn't been able to have the finishes that even he probably expects himself to have. And I really like watching him run around these tracks and picking up a lot of speed. He has some good finishes, but just not at the level that I think he's expecting of himself. So we'll see if he can bring it home tonight in second right now in that 5 truck.
Yeah, 5 truck running really, really strong. That's Donald Ray keeping right in the tire tracks of our leader, Donald Ray. Team Money out there saying 5 cars going to be good tonight. No doubt. Got a great starting spot. Everybody so far keeping it clean, keeping it green, working 3 laps in. We might as well give a good old throwback to the one and only Intimidator. In fact, we're going to go ahead and drop back a little bit in the field, looking at what was supposed to be a Wrangler paint scheme from the 44 of Byron Jones. Again, on the counter it says the 29, but yeah, that 44 Wrangler throwback looking pretty good for Byron Jones as he's battling with the 2 of Kevin Feemster right now.
Yeah, that truck looks pretty cool. I've seen 2 of them today in the Xfinity race that looked, you know, kind of similar. We saw the 51, and then the Hellmans with Allgaier that actually won the race today at Darlington. Both of them kind of threw a throwback to that yellow and blue Wrangler paint scheme. So it was kind of cool to see those guys being up front, and then obviously Allgaier getting his win today. But yeah, I always liked that Wrangler paint scheme. I saw that paint scheme a couple weeks ago though at was that Talladega when Dale Jr. was up in the booth and they saw a car driving through the infield with the fans and everything, and it was some guy in an old I think it was a Pontiac, and he had the Dale Jr. Wrangler paint scheme going on. Yep.
It looks like yeah, that was oh, somebody just wrecked hard behind. I think it was going to be Joshua Gaiman.
Oh, and it clips another truck, and he goes off the track completely.
And it looks like our first caution of the night's gonna be out. Let's go back and see if we can't pick up with Joshua Gaiman right now. Find out exactly what happened.
I don't know who that was that ran into him, Pete, but you're going to want to do an onboard of that truck because he went completely to the inside of the track.
All right,
so over the wall.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, you see the fence, you see the wall, and just kind of pointing straight up in the air. No bueno whatsoever for him. So let's go ahead and bring it back live. As you can see, he had to go ahead and tow. Let's bring it back. All right. So 23, he ended up actually getting a Darlington stripe at the very, very end of that. But for the most part, not too shabby. Didn't collect anybody else. Looks like quite a few people are going to come on down pit road. Jeremy Briol, Tom Sears, Cody Meadows, Jacob Blankenship, Dustin Painter, Elric George, James Kerr, Ryan Pannell, Joshua Gaiman, Kevin Feemster, and Dylan McDonald decide to come on down. Maybe just make a little bit of a change. Grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, come on back out, and that's going to hand the lead over, or keep the lead, with the 28 of Cody Pannell. He figured he had all that clean air swats. He did not want to give it up.
Yeah, I don't think I would pit for tires or anything this early. We see the top 7 stay out, and actually 9th and 10th both are staying out as well. 12th and 16th are staying out. So you're going to have probably 12 guys on those 8-lap to 10-lap set of tires when we go green again, and then you're going to have the back half on the fresh ones.
Oh, here comes 28.
I don't know if that's really going to make a big difference here.
28's coming down pit road right now. Might be just to top off. Well, actually,
that would be a penalty.
I think
if he didn't pit the first go round, and you pit on the second go round to top off, that's a penalty. To be able to do it, you have to pit the first time.
Well, the 5 came down right with him, and so did a few others. So yeah, Cody Pannell coming on down. Maybe he wasn't paying attention to it. Yeah, there's actually quite a few people behind him.
Yeah, we had it happen last Monday in Indianapolis. It actually caught our good friend Corey Kobe. He followed a guy who was leading the race and ducked into pit road after the original guys had already gone down pit road and pitted. He was going to try to top off because they were about 1 or 2 laps short, and he thought, well, I'll just throw a little bit of gas in it to try to get it there. And Corey followed him down, and they all got black flags for pitting without pitting the first time. So it would be kind of interesting to see who gets a black flag and who doesn't on this one. Normally you have to pit the first go round to be able to top off the second go round.
Yeah,
it's usually iRacing that throws the black flag.
Well, we'll have to see how the admins handle that a little bit later on, if it actually goes to review or not. But that handed the lead over to the 78 of Toby Estes in that Martin Truex Jr. throwback, and he's got Nicholas Pressey to his outside. You were talking a little bit about Nicholas earlier. Well, he's gonna have a good shot. 78 almost spins him. 9 car goes up to the outside wall as well. Green flags back out, heading towards 1.
Yeah, that's 78. I'm sure that's making somebody we know very happy to see that thing back out on track.
Yeah, buddy.
But yeah, I mean, Nicholas, I'm not surprised to see him up here. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see him come flying up through the field. He elected to stay out. The top 6 are on the older tires. The rest of the field decided to come down on whether or not they got a black flag or not. But I'm seeing a bunch of guys coming down pit road and serving, or they're now 1 lap down. So I don't know what happened there, but we'll see what happens here with the rest of the guys that pitted there. But I think Nicholas probably has a really good chance to finish this race up the front.
Yeah, Nicholas, he's very, very strong. I don't know if he had to step away for a while or what the deal was, but it'll be interesting to see where Nicholas finishes in what might be his first race back. Unfortunately, neither of us were available to cover last week's race at Talladega for the ARCS Saturday Night Showdown series, but
wish I would have been able to see that.
Yeah. I know. I did hear that Ryan Pannell was able to grab the W, and a couple others that normally don't run all that strong. And I'm not knocking on anybody, but they were able to get a pretty great finish. As they always say, Daytona, Talladega, and the iRacing Super Speedway are the great equalizers.
And we do go back to Talladega during the playoffs. So those guys who got a lot of experience, maybe like you said, not knocking on guys, but guys who are not normally known for being up front or finishing up front, they got some experience riding around in the front towards the end of that race. So that could pay pretty good dividends if they do make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, it really could. It's always interesting anytime you get to a plate track for a playoff race because you don't know what's going to happen. Your chances of getting caught up as the leader or the points leader are just as great of getting caught up into a wreck as it can be that somebody that's last in points and has been struggling along. Meanwhile, they've also got a great shot if they're on the bubble to advance into the next round because of having that chance to win. So hey, we'll have to see how it all shakes out as the season goes on, but kind of excited about it. I was actually looking at the schedule, and I told the admins earlier I won't be here for the race the last week of June because I'll actually be up in New York State for a family reunion, camping out all week. But after that, I will be here every single race. So between now and the last week of June, I will be here. And then after that week, I will be here all the rest of the season long, all the way into, I believe it's like November the 5th is their last race. Very, very long season here in the ARCS Truck Series.
And I know I'll be missing 2 races for sure. I'll be missing June 11th when we go to Knoxville. That's for my brother's wedding. And then I'll be missing Bristol in the first round, the 3rd race of the first round, as my wife bought our tickets for my wedding present for this fall's Bristol night race. So I'll be headed to that one. But Pete, this second round of the playoffs, that's a killer round. Like, that is the most treacherous round of races put together for a single round I've ever seen. You got Long Beach, a road course, mixed in with Talladega. That's a flip of a coin on whether or not you even finish that race. And then you go to Rockingham for the 3rd and final race of that round. That's 3 very difficult tracks to really secure yourself into the next round unless you get all these playoff points, and those playoff points help a ton. So these guys, getting all these bonus points and leading laps and leading most laps and getting the stage breaks and things like that, that's what these guys are pushing for, is to help themselves in those rounds, especially that second round.
Yeah, I mean points mean everything as the season goes on. And yeah, it's going to be a big mix. If you're going to be a champion of this series after such a long season, you got to be able to do it and get it done anywhere that you possibly go. So just kind of riding along right now back here with the 75, sitting in P number 12 of James Kerr. He's up 4 spots from where he started, and I was kind of just showing everybody out there in chat this amazing looking truck that Kerr has. I mean, I told,
I don't know who made that for him, but I'd love to see him send that in to actual NASCAR guys and see if maybe they could put that on a real car. That especially with what's it, next weekend when we go to Charlotte, or is that 2 weekends away, where they do the big salute?
That's at Charlotte for Memorial Day. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's 2-3 weeks away.
Yep.
I think that would be an awesome paint scheme to see on an Xfinity car or a truck or even a Cup car. There's a lot of drivers out there that Even it's not more. I wouldn't say it's the guys with the big name sponsors. It's more of the lower guys who just really put a lot of money in their own money into their cars or their trucks or whatever. But I'd love to see maybe one of those guys grab this kind of paint scheme and put it on their car. That wrap would be awesome to see on a car.
Yeah, it really would. I mean, he did tell me that the actual owners of Black Acid, they will be running it at South Boston, and I was telling him I'd love to be able to actually see this out on track. And if it's there when I'm there, I'm going to definitely try to get into the pits and just congratulate them on a scheme very, very well done. I personally think that this is the best scheme on track, hands down.
Yeah, it's one of the better salutes to the troops that I've seen in a long time on any car. The way that the detailing that he's put into the paint scheme, the different images that are on the paint, I mean, that's hands down one of the best salutes to the troops, fallen or current active military, that I've ever seen on a truck or a car.
Mud 1999 out there saying 2 race back-to-back DNF. Gotta love it. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. Absolutely sorry to hear that. Looks like with everything that's been going on, SWATs, and people that may have had to serve a black flag right now, only about 14 trucks left on the lead lap. Last guy on the lead lap right now is going to be the number 5 for Donald Ray. We saw him a little bit earlier in this HendrickCars.com Silverado as he goes up and smashed that outside wall as he sees the leaders coming up into his rear view.
Yeah, I was wondering if they got black flags. It looks like he might have served one. So I'm wondering if they all got hit, and I feel bad that maybe they didn't hear it before, but that was definitely, if that's what they got, then yeah, they should have watched last Monday's stream because they had caught that one.
Yeah, very unfortunate for the 5 and everybody that led early. Man, I tell you, SWATs, everybody seems like they are getting tighter and tighter off of turn number 2. I mean, I just watched the leader as well as second and third just about completely tail whip the outside wall, and trying to hold on to it the best they can. Great little battle right now though for P number 2.
Yeah, turn 2 is always difficult for me. Turn 4 is not bad, but turn 2. I just either carry too much speed or I don't carry enough speed, and I usually get somebody running right up on the back of me. So I definitely can understand these guys being late in the run, getting tight, sliding into the wall. You might have to back up a little bit more in the middle of the corner to get that drive off of the corner to where it doesn't sling it up into the wall, because it's almost like the G-force and the pressure just wants to just push you towards that outside wall with the way the banking is.
Let's actually catch up with Toby Estes right now in this number 78. Go ahead and jump on board. Let's go ahead and pull up his gyro cam and take a lap or 2 around Darlington International Raceway as he comes across the start stripe. Guys and gals, go ahead and crank it up. right, yeah, definitely appreciate it. I tell you what, I was actually told, Swats, the other night, I need to create a commentator coming back message for the screen because it gets to be a little loud at times whenever I talk. And yep, I know you've got to turn me down, and Frozen's got to turn me down, and everybody's got to turn me down. But man, I just try to bring and show the energy that I'm getting from these guys on track in my commentary. Absolutely love what I do, but I might just have to do that.
Your energy could probably power one of these trucks going around this track. So as much energy as you bring in, I absolutely appreciate it and love the energy that you always bring in. The enthusiasm, the love for the sport, the love for watching the leagues, the guys that are in the leagues. It comes out of it, just oozes out of you. So I don't think there's any taming the beast.
No, absolutely not.
To do anything like that. It's just on our duty just to turn you down just a little bit so that you don't blow our eardrums out. But we all appreciate it. We love the enthusiasm.
Been doing it for a while. Started off, as you know, with NNR after the one and only HD Motorsports Nick Vroman, old Vroom Vroom Vroman on Twitch. Hung it up, and I picked it up and ran with it, and it's been a great ride ever since. And it looks like the one and only Seth Watson in this number 9 A-Shock Chevy has brought his machine down pit road. He's going to go ahead and slide into his pit box, grab his Eagle Feel Goods, come on back out, and resume. It looks like Nicholas Pressey is also going to go ahead and join him. So, Swats, looks like we got a round of green flag pit stops underway.
Yeah, it looks like the guys that stayed out earlier that were on the 8-lap old tires, they're all starting to come down. Toby Estes is on 34 laps right now. He's one of the guys that stayed out the longest. Tristan Catania is another one that's out on 33-lap old tires, but he's a lap down. So I would not be surprised to see Toby come, and here he comes actually right now as I talk about it. So the rest of the field, that's the number 34. So when we start seeing the rest of these guys in another 6-7 laps, they should all be coming down as well.
All right, so that's gonna hand the lead over to the 23 of Ryan Billy in his Silverado. Dustin Painter, which started, I believe, P11. Yep, he's up 9 spots right now, sitting in P2. Tom Sears, P3. Jacob Blankenship up 10 spots in P number 4. But I tell you what, one guy that we were talking about earlier, that number 12 of Ryan Pannell, that won Talladega last week, right now looking like an old famous double deuce that we used to talk about all the time, sitting P5, 18 spots to the good Swats for Darlington. That's a great feat by itself.
Yeah, Ryan's been moving steadily through the field with these guys taking pit stops. He did take the tires earlier, or at least did the pit stop earlier. He was in for 27 seconds, so he might have been a little longer fixing up damage. But I think these guys who did pit underneath that first caution are underneath the best strategy right now, because if they can go another 4 or 5 laps, that puts them at 41 laps completed. We have 110 laps in this race, so if they can run another 34, it puts them right around 75, 78 laps completed. Another 34 from there puts them real close to finishing this race.
Yeah, we just saw the 94 of Nicholas Pressey come on by Ryan Pannell, but that was actually not for position. Nicholas Pressey had gone a lap down due to pitting. Still, Ryan Pannell and others will have to come on down pit road to go ahead and fill up. But if they can continue to go, because they came in earlier, they might be able to, who knows, maybe they'll catch a lucky caution, somebody that will, lock it up coming onto this very, very tricky pit road, or, who knows, we'll have to see. But the longer they can stay out as this round of green flag pit stops continues to cycle, they've got a chance of maybe catching a lucky caution.
And I'm wondering who Ryan Pannell is actually basing this paint scheme off of, because there's been a lot of guys that have run this Ole's paint scheme. I haven't seen an Ole's in years. Ole's was one of the places that my grandparents, my great aunt, great aunt, they'd all go, and they would load up on everything they could find. It was basically the poor man's
It's a discount
Sam's
bargain
Club.
center.
So,
Yep, absolutely.
yeah,
Yep.
we would go through there. We'd spend the whole day, and they'd find every single thing that they could possibly think of to grab. And us kids would always get like little bitty toys that we never even heard of before, but they were there, so we just got a couple toys while we were there. But there's been a ton of guys. Casey Kane ran this in the 95. The 23, Chase Elliott ran it a couple years ago in the Xfinity Series. Kevin Harvick ran it back in 2010. I mean, there's been so many guys of the year. Matt Kenseth ran it. I don't know who Ryan Pannell likes, but it could be any one of those 4 or 5 guys, or even he could be going further back. I'm seeing some different logos on there. I mean, Amco's on there. There's a few others, so this may be an older paint scheme than I'm even using.
Hey, speaking of caution, there we go.
He's on pit road here.
But yeah, so the slogan for Ollie's was actually good stuff cheap. And man, if you're gonna throw any kind of a store, back or whatever, Darlington is the place to do it. And believe it or not, Swats, there is an Ollie's close to you.
Well, see, what's funny to me is I don't know if it's the Southern thing, or if it's the Yankee thing, but I'd be kind of wondering how Beck says the name of the store compared to how Sarah says the name of the store compared to how you and I just said it. So
yeah,
I'm gonna have to ask her how she says the name of the store, and I'd love to hear how Beck says it.
Well, let's see if we can't find out exactly what happened. We're gonna go back with Jason Alexander right now and check in with him. Looks like he's down on the white line, little loose, and I'm not 100% sure. A little bit of a Bill Elliott throwback. Got to the bottom by the wall, didn't hit anything, and just towed it. And as you just saw, it completely disappeared as well. So I'm gonna guess that he had to call it quits, maybe for personal reasons. Hope everything is all right either way. But that is going to hand the lead over to the 49 of Dustin Painter. Let's go ahead and bring us back live one more time. Dustin Painter out here in this number 20 North American motor car. It's an interesting looking paint scheme as well. Not quite sure if that is a throwback to someone. It's not somebody that I recognize, but that doesn't mean that it's not. So
Pete, I'm getting the third degree over here about how Southerners say it correctly and us Yankees say it wrong. But she said it the same way you did, which was Ollie's.
Yep.
But most Yankees or Northerners that I know of say Ole's. But apparently Southerners are correct and Yankees are wrong. But that's what I'm being told. So.
Yep.
I keep saying, well, where'd you guys move to? Where do you guys live? We invaded the South after we won it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I just remember the commercials from yesteryear. It said Ollie's, and it was a little kid screaming, "Good stuff, cheap." That was their slogan. So,
Southern commercial.
I don't know, man. But either way, it's a nice looking truck, all the same. So yeah, Dustin Painter leading right now. With Tom Sears P2, James Kerr, Tom Sears, James Kerr, Ryan Pannell in that number 12 Ollie's machine, and then Jeremy Briel to round out your.
12 looks pretty good in the Ole's paint scheme.
Yeah, Rolly, Ollie, Ollie, oxen free. Yeah, there you go.
There you go, Steve.
But yeah, I tell you what, I gotta keep coming back to this 75. He's got quite a bit of damage all the way around, but man, I as you said, I would definitely submit that paint scheme to a team in NASCAR and see if they can run that. That would be an amazing die cast.
I mean, like I said earlier, the detail that he's put into the paint scheme. I mean, it just looks. I mean, it just looks amazing. I mean, it would probably look even better on a real truck or car, but I mean, it looks fantastic. I think it's one of the best designed paint schemes I've seen for a specific reason for designing it. It just looks amazing. I love the color choices. I love the details. I love the decals he put on, the flag being mixed in there. You see the stars on the front.
Yep.
Bumper, you see it mixed through there with the POW emblem or the sign. Yeah, I love everything about it. I do wish maybe it had a few different military branches on there besides just the Marines, but I get it.
Oh yeah. That's that is a. I might actually just reach out to him after all this is said. I might reach out
That's
to
one you might be able to get custom painted.
I was just thinking. Yep, I was just thinking that same thing. I might.
You might get a custom paint of the 75, exactly like it is.
Hey, the year I was born, let's go with it. But rather than going with that, let's go ahead and get back up with Dustin Painter. Swats, we're going back green.
These guys are flying. We're already 45 laps into the race, and we've had a few different leaders. But this 49 out front is looking pretty good. The 23 that's kind of stuck back here, I was noticing he's got a Darlington stripe. He's got a pretty good side swipe on there. And look at the guy sitting second right now. That old Tom Sears that I keep talking about at the beginning of these races, how he just kind of hovers in the back, and then all of a sudden you just see him and he's there. And then he'll kind of float back to the back again, and then towards the end of the race, he's there. He's right at the end. So I love seeing Tom up here. Like I said, that color scheme of his paint scheme, I love that kind of neon yellowish green tint. Looks like straight out of a crayon box. So I like it.
Yeah, I mean it's like a yellow highlighter with black. It absolutely looks amazing. And
on that truck.
Exactly under the lights here at Darlington, absolutely just
and don't
pops.
Forget it's a beautiful Toyota too.
Yeah, I know those Toyota TRD Tundras, man. Those new front ends.
Baddest looking truck on track right now.
That is yeah, that is a very, very nice looking truck. You know, looking from the hood back, yeah, that is a really, really nice looking truck, I gotta say. Very aggressive nose, very aggressive stance, absolutely.
I mean, I love the look of it on my Tacoma, but the new Toyota Tundras, I mean, they look. I'm glad they updated them finally, because they were a little behind the Tacomas. They'd updated the Tacomas and they hadn't updated the Tundras really. So to upgrade that Tundra and make it look so bad as much as the Tacoma does, and bad is a good thing, by the way. As the older generation always says, you're good if you're bad. So that's where I'm going with it.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
Yeah.
I get you. Might as well. Hey, you might as well, right? But
cool as an ice cube in the tray.
There you go. There you go. It's cool as my old school Adidas, but
cool as a cucumber.
Hey, there we go too. But I tell you what, Swats, these top two, Dustin Painter, Tom Sears, they're really starting to
running away.
Yeah, from Jeremy Briault back here in his Haviland 74. Haven't really talked about Jeremy Briault very much, but he's sitting right in front of that Ollie's number 12 as well. And that's a nice looking paint scheme. At 74, let's see if we can't get a little bit of a little shot of that machine.
Kind of a throwback Havoline mix between the white Havoline and the black Havoline car.
Yeah, not looking too bad. Let's actually kind of go through the field and look at all these.
There.
Yeah, a little
bit of banged up rear end.
Yeah, a little banged up right front as well. Then here's Ryan Pannell. We were talking about that Ollie's machine. Yep. And then Briley Wright in his Dollar General. This is going to be a Matt Kenseth throwback back to his Killer Bees days. Yep. Then we got the 23 Premier Racing Setups Silverado for Ryan Billy.
That paint scheme too.
Yeah, looks pretty good. Of course, we know we know where this where the 75. I mean, this just. Yeah, enough said about Mr. Kerr and this machine. I'm going to talk to him about getting a die cast of that. I really do like it. Even with that number, you know, like I said, year I was born, in my Twitch channel, repeat 1975. Yep, in case you didn't figure it out, there you go. Then Seth Watson. Shock Energy for Seth Watson in this number 9. Chase Elliott throwback. Nicholas Pressey, Monaco Coach Corporation, in this Ford F-150. Elric George, old boss E. Geo. I love seeing this guy over on iRacing. Took long enough. A bit of a monster throwback. That could be to a couple of different drivers. You could actually take that all the way.
Riley Herbst one. It's got the Ford Performance in the back of it.
All right, well there you go.
It ain't the good Ty Gibbs one.
Well, no, I was actually going to take it even further back. I'm not sure if you saw the Dale Jr. download.
Busch.
Huh?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Kyle Busch back in the day when he drove the 54 truck.
No, Ricky Carmichael. Yeah, he drove a monster truck for Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Yeah. And then of course you mentioned the 85 for Jacob Blankenship, the old Noble truck, looking pretty good. Toby Estes led a whole bunch of laps tonight. No question here who this Furniture Row throwback is to. Going to be the one and only Martin Truex Jr. And I'm glad to say that I was actually in Homestead with a couple of our buddies for his championship race. I was glad to see him go ahead and knock that out of the park for old Barney Visser before they decided to close shop. And just behind him is going to be the 29 on screen, 44 on the truck for Byron Jones in his Patriot Esports Silverado, throwing it back to Earnhardt himself. And then Donald Ray in this number 5 HendrickCars.com, of course, a Kyle Larson paint scheme, or Casey Kane. Tommy Withers, Exide SKF, bringing it back to one of the old Burton brothers. That's a beautiful paint scheme. I actually got that die cast also. And then
that's a Jeff Burton. Maybe even Todd Bodine back in the day, but I think it's a Jeff Burton.
Yep, there you go. We got Joshua Gaiman. It's number 61. Daniel Maddox. I tell you what, Darrell Waltrip and Dale Jr. never made Mountain Dew look so good. Let's see. Patrick Allen looks like he's actually out of the race, right along with Jason Alexander, Kevin Feemster, Cody Meadows, Dylan McDonald, and Cody Pannell. So only what is that going to be? 18 or 19 trucks left on track tonight. Definitely hope everybody that's out there in chat, liking the race and liking the creativity that these guys have had in creating a lot of these paint schemes. I know that we definitely appreciate it, Swats.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the standings here. Cody Meadows is going to take a huge hit tonight. That's our points leader with 4 wins. Next in line is that 75 of James Kerr sitting in second in points and not too far off. I think he's only a few points back. I would say it's like 4 to 6 points. So if he can have a decent finish, he's sitting right now in the top 10. If he can get up to the top 5, that's a pretty big point swing to be out in front of Cody, who's been on just a string of wins over those first 6 races. That's going to be a pretty heavy hit for him. And then our pole sitter out too, sitting last right now.
Yeah, it's very, very unfortunate what happened to the top 5 early, but hey, like you said, you got to kind of pay attention to what's going on and what you're doing. But yeah, Kerr right now is sitting in P8, up 8 spots in that number 75. I think he could probably crack the top 5. We'll have to see. In order to do that, he'd have to get by Nick Pressey, Seth Watson, and take over Ryan Billy in this number 23 to work his way into the top 5.
The Pressey and Watson are on that outside strategy. They're on 27, 28 lap run right now. The rest of the field is pretty much on a 20 lap run. So they're the only 2 left that are still out on that original scheme or strategy that stayed out on those 8 lap old tires when everybody else pitted. So they're going to have to wind up coming down here within the next 5-6 laps. The rest of the guys still got about 6-7 laps after them. And those are the guys that I'm thinking, we'll be right around lap 80, lap 75 by the time these guys end up pitting, that are on the lesser of the tire strategies. They could be really close to making it from where they have to pit there. These guys that are on the 2 older strategies of Nicholas Pressey and Seth Watson, they're going to have to hope for a caution to come out, or else they're going to be about 10 laps short to where they're going to have to pit again.
Yeah, I mean, Seth Watson right now, the last time he pit was 32 laps ago. Pit on lap 32. Nicholas Pressey pit on lap 33, and Ryan Billy pit on lap 39. Everybody else pit on either lap 41 or 42. Now we're on 63. We just, once we hit lap 55, we got past halfway. And you know what, Swats? I just thought about it. It completely spaced on me that these guys run a stage break caution, and they did that on lap 40. It wasn't actually, even though the caution and all that kind of played in with the wreck. That's what they counted as their stage break. So Seth Watson.
I was talking about with those bonus points earlier. That stage break was coming. I just wasn't sure when it was going to happen, but those cautions played into it. But there's a lot of guys that this helped, and a lot of guys that it actually really hurt. Toby Estes, Blankenship, Ray, Withers, they were all on pit road before the caution came out and had gone a lap down and did not get their lap back because guys stayed out, which froze them and stuck them back in the back. They didn't get the wave around. So I think Ryan Billy's the only one that it really helped because he was actually on pit road when the caution came out and hadn't gone a lap down yet. So he actually played out really well for him.
Speaking of Ryan Billy, I actually just got a notification.
Like he just went down pit road.
Let's see. Let's actually go.
Something.
Yeah, go back with Ryan Billy and find out what happened just now.
It's 2 laps down.
Wrong one.
Something really bad happened.
Come on.
Actually off track.
There we go. Let's find out what happened with Ryan.
Yeah, he's out of the race. I think he pulled over.
Yeah, very unfortunate because I mean he was doing all right. So pulled all the way over, and he's gonna try to back it off the track. He's gonna good job by him. But all right, let's go ahead and bring it back live.
He's lucky it didn't pull a caution.
Right.
Probably should have just went down pit road and pitted and then backed out. But
good battle right now between the 44, the 04 and the 48. Great, actually, really good battle right here with Nicholas Pressey and company. Looks like they were able to pull ahead though. Maybe some newer tires. Seth Watson brings his A-Shock number 9 down pit road. Dustin Painter in the 20, now your leader. Still your leader rather. Tom Sears right behind. Jeremy Brielt, Nicholas Pressey, James Kerr. Nick Pressey coming down pit road in that 94 Monaco machine.
Yeah, Nick Pressey coming to 35 lap run right there. So that's going to be his full run of 35 laps being able to be completed. Without a caution coming out, it didn't really help him there. So this is where I'm saying if he goes another 35, it puts him about 5 to 10 laps short of making it. So he's going to have to really hope for another caution or a late race caution or something to help him with pit strategy. Because if he has to pit with 5 to 10 laps to go, there's no way he's finishing the top 5.
No, there wouldn't be. Absolutely not.
There's only 10 or 11 guys on the lead lap. So.
Yeah, no new takers. Nick Pressey was the last one to go on down, so we'll go ahead and catch the action back here on track. So now the 9's come out. He's got some fresh tires. Also, Tommy Withers is also leaving pit road, so he's going to come on back out in this number 6 X-Side machine. Again, beautiful looking truck. So still up front, Dustin Painter, Tom Sears, Brielt, Elric George, again, Bossy Gio in that number 40 monster machine, now inside the top 5, and James Kerr, P5, as the 10 comes on back by him to try to catch back up to the actual leaders to unlap himself the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, and looking at it now that they've pitted, Pressey's going to be about 6 laps short, same with Lansing. So they're going to have to really hope for something. But the rest of the field, they're on lap 30 of the run right now. So they've got about 5 more laps, which puts them at about 76. So they'll be about maybe a half to 1 lap short of finishing the race, which they could baby it a little bit on the next go run. But I really think Pressey and them are going to have a caution come out. There's no way that they could make it with being 6 laps short.
Dustin Painter, your leader, he's gone ahead and brought it down pit road, which handed the lead over to Tom Sears.
Early.
It's possible.
He's going to be about 4 laps too early on that one.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, if 40, yeah, yep. So we'll have to.
You had to run this stint all the way to the end of gas, like onto last drops. Even Sears coming in right now from the lead, he's going to be about 3 laps too early. So these guys needed to run that full 34, 35 lap run, and they're all running 31s. So they're cutting themselves a little bit short unless they're just really all praying for a caution. But this brings the rest of those guys that I was talking about that have to pit back into the fold. If the rest of these guys start pitting and they're 3-4 laps short, they're all going to have to pit. So that definitely helps those two that have been on the longer fuel run strategy.
So now, Swats, a lot of these guys, they've obviously I've heard of guys still recently running on controllers, but most of these guys have wheels. They've got the shifters. They've got they've got the clutch pedal that they can make use out of. I would imagine when you're getting into turn 1 and turn 3, you can clutch it a little bit. Save just a little bit of gas. And come on, get it back in gear and come hard off the corner. So maybe they can save that extra lap, but I think 4 laps, it's probably going to be a bit much, as you were kind of alluding to.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Boss is running right now, it looks like he's saving and has been saving. It looks like he's been clutching in the corners, and that's the strategy I would be on right now. I'd be paying close attention to that. As you see him going to the corners, he's way slower than everybody else going through those corners. He's got to make it another 2 laps, and then he should be good to go the rest of the way of the race. So that means he won't have to pit. So that's the strategy I would be on right now. I think that puts Elrich George in the spot to be able to win this race with the amount of fuel and everything that he has, if he can make it now another 2 laps.
Yeah, working lap 75 of 110, so 35 laps remaining. As long as he doesn't get lapped, nope, here he comes in that number 40 Monster Machine now. So even Elric George or Bossy Gio is going to be a little low. Wow, hold on. Good job. Yeah, very good save. You saw that truck stepping further and further out.
He's gonna complete or start his 35th lap in this run, so he's gonna be on lap 75. Ooh, it's going to be close. He's going to be about a half lap short. So he's the closest in fuel. Everybody else is 3 to 4 or more laps short.
So now you just gotta hope that he's going to be able to come on and hit his pit box cleanly and get a great exit as well. Didn't see where he had to back it up or anything like that. You see the other side going on right now. No real damage to repair. Looks like he's been able to keep the right side of that Monster 40 fairly clean and exiting pit road, coming out pit road speed. You want to be right at the number, merge up nice and clean, not have any issues. Don't get loose when you get to the banking, and come on out. Great job by Bossy Gio. It'll be interesting to see if that puts him in the top 3, and we're talking to him in the booth when it's all said and done. Now working lap 77.
Yeah, and it doesn't even look like he really got into the gas hard coming out of pit road either. So I think he's been paying attention to what we're talking about here, because I think he's got enough. If he can save, like I said, a half lap to a lap, the pit stop, even if you come down for just a splash, Pete, that's 35-40 seconds on pit road total from start to finish, and that's not even counting the slowdown time coming off of turn 4 to go into pit road. So you're looking at maybe 45 to 50 seconds that you lose from exiting 4 to going down pit road, getting that splash, coming out, getting back up to speed to go down the backstretch. That's a huge gap. So even if he has to relax a little bit and just save just a little bit and go a little bit slower than everybody on these fresher tires, he can make up that time. That's 50 seconds he doesn't have to pit. Even if he loses 10 seconds here on track, saving, he still gained 40 seconds by not having to pit again. So I think he's in the best seat right now, fuel-wise, if he can save that half lap to a lap. I don't think anybody else is going to be able to save 3 to 6 laps.
The only thing, Swats, I agree with you, but the only thing there is, did he lose too much time when he was slowing down, getting ready for that pit stop? Did he give too much time away to Tom Sears, Dustin Painter, Nicholas Presti, who are our current top 3, and where all they're going to have to do, if they do have to come down, is just take a splash and get back out there, not grab tires. So they're not looking at a full 14-second, 15-second pit stop. Yeah, they've still got to get down to pit road time or pit road speed and come off pit road speed, but will that be enough? Right now, Elric George sitting in P number 11, What's he looking at? Let me.
Lap down right now.
Yep.
I still think, Pete, just coming down for fuel only, that's still a 40 to 50 second total time from coming off of 4 to coming out of turn 2. Even if he does 10 seconds of slowing down, he still has 40 seconds to play with. So I feel like he didn't lose as much as the time. I mean, it might be close for him to come out, them pitting, them coming back out on track. He might be right there battling them on the backstretch. But he's not going to have to slow down. He's going to be full tilt at that point if he can conserve. And he might have already conserved it by not getting into the gas that hard coming out of pit road. It sounded like he was in a higher gear when he came out of pit road to try to conserve a little bit. And then those first few laps he was conserving still. He wasn't running super fast times, but now he's the fastest car on track. He just ran a 30.1. That's the fastest lap of the whole run right here with these guys. Fastest lap on track was a 29.6. That was Donald Ray, and he's 3 positions back, 1 lap down as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just flying. 29.67, 29.76. There's a few 29s out there, but yeah, absolutely. Elric George, doing everything that he can do to try to make up some time. Meanwhile, all the while trying to save just a little bit of fuel. Right now, the fastest guy out there all night long, 29.62. Actually, there's a couple of them between Cody Pannell and Donald Ray, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't see it.
What was that, Pete?
I was just talking about the fastest laps that have been run all night between Cody Pannell and Donald Ray with a 29.62.
Yeah, Donald Ray he's got the 29.61. Sears has a 29.65. And there's a few others in the 29s. Briolt's in the 29. Cressy's in a 29. Byron's in a 29. Blankenship's in a 29. So there's a bunch. But I mean, Elrich has not been in a 29. His fastest lap of the race is that 30.176 that he just ran a little bit ago.
Yeah.
So, he's sitting 9th right now, 1 lap down. But even if somebody comes down off of 4 and pits, he'll get his lap back. The question is does he make up enough time around to get back in battling spots with these guys up front when they have to pit? Right now, it looks like I'm trying to figure out how far behind Elrich is of Sears, and I can't tell because he's 1 lap down. I'm trying to figure out where he's at on the track.
Let's see.
So he's coming into he just went through the start stripe. Sears is coming out of 2 as George goes into turn 1. So he's only a turn back from him right now. So if Sears slows down in turn 3 to get slowed down in turn 4, George will be passing him as he enters pit road.
Yep, you're right.
Does George make that time up around for a whole nother lap by the time Sears actually comes out of pit road and gets back up to speed out of turn 2? That's where it's going to be figuring out. The lap times are 30 seconds. If he saved that 10 seconds and then he's still got 40 seconds to play with, he should be real close to Sears as they come out of pit road again.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. And I don't think Tom Sears can take or risk taking tires. I think he's got to come down.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep. Yeah, he's just got to come down and he's got to take a splash and go. But Swats on the flip side of that, we've seen what's happened when you come on down on old tires and try to leave on old tires. Half the time you end up getting very, very loose trying to get up through those gears. We know that first gear and second gear, they could be pretty strong. So, these guys are going to have to be really, really gentle, and that could also play into the 40's hands as well. Bossy Gio, Elric George might be sitting on a pretty good night, and I've been a fan of his for a very, very long time, going back to the NNR days. It's funny, if you ever went to the NNR League page and you take a look at past visitors to the website, it was a big old map of the U.S. And Bossy Gio, he lives down in the Caribbean, and it always looked like his his marker from logging into the website was in the middle of the ocean. And I always asked him, I was like, man, you live on a boat? You live on a houseboat or something like that? And he always got a chuckle out of it. So he's a hell of a guy. He loves to cut up a little bit too. So I really hope that he can come around and get it done. Talking about guys coming around and getting it done, Jeremy Brialt in the 74, he's going to go ahead and bring it down pit road, working lap, 20 to go.
Here's the test, Pete. We can see it right here. Wansing just went down pit road. He's in the 9. He is on pit road right now, passing the start stripe.
Yep.
Elrich is unlapping himself essentially from him. Now, we'll see where Elrich comes out from where Wansing comes out around turn 2. Elrich is going through 1 and 2 right now. Wansing just hit his box. Does he? Oh, he's taking tires.
Yep, I just saw the right side go up, and I just saw the left side go up.
Does he only take rights?
Nope, Wansing is taking all 4.
Wow.
75 also just pulled in right behind him. It looks like his...
So 9's coming out now.
Yep, 9's coming out. 85 is in. He's taking rights.
Elrich is passing the start stripe now. Yeah, he's going to pass him. It's not even going to be close. Elrich is going to be in front of the 9, I would think, coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, but the only thing is, on 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, he's going to run the 40 down. There's still 18 laps to go.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Actually, Elrich didn't pass him.
Elrich right now, let's catch up with him.
He's behind him, he's right behind him, but Manson came out in front of him on 4 fresh tires, so that's going to be that's going to be a test, and that's also the other thing too is Presti and Estes both are on old tires. They're on about 4 to 8 lap older tires than Elrich George is, and now I see the 94 coming in, so that's another test. We'll see where these two end up. This is going to be a little different, though, because Elrich is not even into turn 3 and 4 yet, and the 94 is already on pit road getting ready to pass the start stripe. Oh, and Steers is coming down. This is going to be the test right here.
Yeah,
if he just unlapped himself, what does Steers do?
I actually got a message that Sears might have had an issue coming down. Did he wreck? He definitely spun it out. Didn't hit anything there. Good job by Sears to go ahead.
Gonna kill him though.
Yeah, good job by him though to keep it off the wall.
That's a good save, yeah. I'm wondering how much this is gonna hurt him. He's not even to his pit stall yet. I hope he unchecked everything and just took fuel. Elrich is coming out of 4. There's no way he's gonna pass Sears. So this is gonna put it in the hands of. Actually, never mind. George is in front of Wansing by 4 or 5 positions.
Yeah, Elrich George right now in this 40 Monster Machine, he's actually sitting in P2. Toby Estes, the last time he pit was on lap 71. So we talked earlier about that. He's going to have to come on down pit road, and there he is. He just now hit pit road. So put this 40 in P number 1, and as we look at the gap back, it looks like... Nope.
Slowed it down.
Yep.
He's saving.
And Tom Sears, as you see on the ticker on the left hand side, he is running him down. I don't think Elric is gonna have enough, but will he have enough to stay inside the top 3? It looks like Sears now just about 3 seconds behind Elric.
I mean, if Elric can, it depends on how much he needs to save.
Oh, is the 6 gonna race him clean? That was close.
I mean, even to come away with a top 3, that's an incredible strategy. To still come home with a top 3, I wouldn't look down on that at all.
No, not at all.
To pull off this kind of strategy, I mean, he was sitting back in what 11th or 12th when this started. So to pull off this kind of strategy and come home with a top 3, make the podium at the end of the night, that would be a huge hats off to him. But I mean, it's still not over with Sears. He's closing on him. He's only about a second back. But does Elrich have anything for him? Has he been conserving enough to when Tom gets there, then he can race him? But he's going to be on super old tires compared to Sears, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've been riding with the nose cam from the 14. He was able to catch on up and go on by. Now from Elric looking back, and that's going to put Dustin Painter in the 49 next. He's got, looks like Bossy Gio has just about half a turn back to him. And then from 3rd to 4th is going to be the 12 of Pannell. 12 laps to go, and there's a 14-second gap there, give or take. So still quite a bit of room.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else is going to make it past him unless he runs out of fuel. But I think Ross might have just got himself a top 3.
I hope so. I hope so. He definitely.
That's a great strategy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Way to plan it out and execute it.
Painter just went by. Or no, Painter's coming up on him now.
Yeah, Painter's coming up on him now in that 20. Boss probably more than likely is going to go ahead and say, "Hey man, you call the line. I'll get out of your way." Boss keeps it low. Painter's going to go on up. Oh, he's actually going to kind of block him a little bit. Good for him.
He's actually getting a little racy.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. But yeah,
he's got an 11 and a half second gap to Ryan Pannell in that 12 ollies. This is gonna be close. He's got 10 laps. That's all he needs. Ryan's gonna have to make up a second per lap to get to him. Has he saved enough? That's the question.
Yeah, that's weird. On the scoring pylon, it's saying quite a bit more than that. I'm gonna guess something is going on with that. I'm actually gonna go ahead and switch that up.
Saying he's on an 11.11. Actually, never mind. Brialt just passed Pannell, so Brialt's now in 4th. Ryan's falling, so I don't know what's going on with Ryan.
All right,
Ryan's back to 6th now, but Brialt is 10 and a half seconds back.
All right, now let's go ahead and go back to the tower one more time. See if that.
Those guys are on fresh tires. That's why Brialt and Wansing in the 9. They're closing in. Both of them 10 seconds back now from George. 8 laps to go, Pete.
Yep, 8 laps remaining. Guys and gals, definitely looks like there might be a little bit of difficulty with the scoring tower. It's actually gaining time, saying that Brialt is now 19 seconds behind, and it's definitely not right. Something going on with SDK. I apologize. So let's go ahead and bring it back to the ticker. See if that's
8.5 seconds.
See if that's got a little bit better. Yep, 8.5 seconds.
Down to 8 seconds.
Let's actually pick up with Brialt.
Oh, he's gaining a ton of time. George must be a lot closer than I thought. He's conserving a lot. Well, never mind. Now he just picked it back up. Oh, it's the corners. He's clutching. Brialt and Wansing are gaining about almost a second in the corners.
Yeah, a couple of guys working, nose to tail. Even though this isn't really, that kind of a track. We're not at a Michigan or an auto club or a super speedway or somewhere like that where the draft pays huge dividends. But we've also seen where guys working together can help pick up some spots. So now
I know we didn't pick anybody tonight, Pete, but I pretty much said I was hoping Tom Sears, and I talked about him so much from the pre-race that he was on kind of a race skid here where he hadn't got a win in the season, and I was kind of hoping this would be the night. He's pretty fast, and look at him out here now. I talk about him every single pre-race of starting in the back, and somehow he always ends up in the front. Tonight he actually qualified P8, so he's up 7 positions in this winning spot here with 5 laps to go.
Yeah, Dustin Painter right now up 9 spots, sitting P2. Elric George still sitting right there in P3. Jeremy Brialt, though, he's actually got a battle on his hands right now with the 9 of Seth Watson. That's actually going to help Elric George just a little bit. I don't know if he'll be able to keep there. 4 laps remaining. Swats, it's going to be close.
I don't know if Elrich can see these guys in his mirror battling, but he's probably chanting in that mirror saying, keep battling, side by side, go ahead. Because they are stuck right now between 3 and 4 seconds back, and they are not gaining by being side by side like this.
No, not at all, because they've got...
George is off the gas on the straightaway almost.
Actually, we're riding on board right now with the gearbox camera from Elric. He can see those 2 behind him, and the more they battle, the more it actually helps him. 3 laps remaining. They're on the backstretch, coming to 2 laps next time by. Swats, if these 2 battle,
it's so close.
It will be very, very close.
It might come down to a block. He's so much off the gas, though.
They're there. They're picking up on his outside. They're going to go ahead and switch the cam right now. 40 down low. 9's going to go high. He moved out of the way. You know what? That's racing with integrity. That is class. Good job.
Class, but I kind of wish you would have thrown a block there just to slow him down a little bit. I mean, 2 laps short of making the podium. I mean, I still would love to give a big shout out to him to making it. I mean, he's still going to be top 5. Ryan Pannell back 5.5 seconds from him right now, so he's still going to make a top 5. That's still a great night pulling off this strategy. But Tom Sears, I said it at the beginning of the race. I thought he would be fast tonight. He has not gotten that win. I said could this be his night, and here we are. 1 lap to go, Pete, when he comes around.
Yep, going down the backstretch right now. I think that was just a 48 that just ducked low, let him go. Really just staying up high. No reason to go anywhere near that white line to possibly get loose. But yeah, it's going to be Tom Sears knocking out the W from the track that's too tough to tame. He says, yeah, watch this. Great job by Tom Sears, Dustin Painter, and Seth Watson. That's going to be your top 3. Jeremy Briault, P number 4. Elric George able to hold on to a top 5 with the 12 of Ryan Pannell, 6th. Jacob Blankenship, 7th in that number 85, up 7 spots on the night. So it looked like that was it just kind of lined up for him. Toby Estes in P8. James Kerr in that beautiful number 75, sitting P9. P10 is going to be Donald Ray to round out your top 10. Go ahead and watch this 14 burn him down.
I think George ran out. So he still came home P5. That's pretty cool. I don't know what it is with that paint scheme, but I love that paint scheme.
Yeah, it fits everywhere. Congratulations, Tom Sears.
Oh, Mr. Lurkin comes home. I know we didn't pick drivers tonight. Maybe it's a good thing we didn't pick them, but I talked about him a lot at the pre-race, so glad to see him come home with a win finally.
Absolutely. Some very, very tight donuts, and he's going to be able to celebrate. Come across, get your nose up to the wall, and light him up.
And, I mean, he's 3rd in points as of right now before this race finished. He just led a bunch of laps. I don't know who led the most. I'll have to go back and take a look here real quick before we go into the podium, but he just led a bunch of laps. He's going to get some bonus points. I think he was up here towards the end of the before the stage break too, so he might have got some bonus points there. He led 35 laps tonight. He's going to get the bonus point for most laps led.
There you go.
Big night for him in the points. That's going to move him up through with Cody Meadows having trouble tonight. He was 15 points back from Meadows before this race started, so that should put him up in the second. It's going to put Kerr in the lead, though.
All right, so let's go ahead and actually pull up your full results on screen while we're waiting on all of our guys to work their way to the booth. Our top 3, again, Tom Sears knocks it out from Darlington. Dustin Painter, P2. Seth Watson, Jeremy Briault, Elric George, Ryan Pannell, Jacob Blankenship, Toby Estes, James Kerr, Donald Ray. That's going to be your top 10. Swatch, you want to take 11th through 20th?
Sure. 11th is that 61 Toyota of Joshua Gaiman. The 12th spot goes to the 6th truck of Tommy Withers. 13th goes to Tristan Catania in that 48 Chevy. 14th spot goes to Byron Jones in that 44 Chevy. 15th spot, Daniel Maddox in the 10. 16th goes to Nicholas Pressey in the 94 Ford. 17th goes to that 23 machine we saw pull off the track. 46th of Briley Wright comes home 18th. Patrick Allen Jr. comes home 19th in that 45. And Jason Alexander wraps up the top 20 in that 53 machine.
There you go. And in that deuce, going to be Kevin Feemster bringing it home 21st, 22nd in the 88 Cody Meadows. Dylan McDonald in that 38, 23rd. And Cody Pannell in that beautiful looking number 28 that led a bunch of laps early. He's going to fall 102 laps down. So I'm going to guess he definitely had an issue right after that first caution. Coming home P24. So that's going to be your field, ladies and gents. We're going to be right back with our top 3 live from the booth Don't go anywhere. I promise it's going to be entertaining.
Exciting news to tell Tom Sears.
That's right.
He is now the
All right, guys, we got our top 3 in the booth. We're going to start off with P3, Seth Watson. Swats, I believe driver 9 of that A-Shock truck is with you.
All right, Seth, you got a copy, buddy.
Gotcha, bud.
All right, bud. You had a pretty entertaining race here. It was a lot of different strategies being played out. I was wondering what was going to happen here with you guys having to be pitting with 10, 15 laps to go. Where you guys would be able to come out. You guys went with the strategy of the 4 tires. Did you think about taking no tires? And then I guess what was your strategy playing along with second place here, where you guys were battling it out? Could you have made that move to get to second or anything like that? So give us a little rundown of those 2 things, the strategy wise, and then putting pressure on second place.
I mean, I don't think I could have gotten a second. As far as being on equal ground, I never really got to head up with Dustin and Tom. They're both great here at Darlington. So 2 dudes I was expecting to be up front anyway. I'll be honest, I'm absolutely terrible at strategy. So I'm trying to get better at it, and I guess tonight was a good test. I guess everybody besides Ryan in front of me went with no tires or 2 tires, and I was kind of running in the back half from about 3rd on back most of the night, 3rd to 6th. So I figured why not take 4 and just be on the offense, and I was able to do that. But yeah, a really good night. Had a lot of fun. I'm not typically a big Darlington fan, but had a fast car, messed up in qualifying. I was going to be in the 30.5s or 6s somewhere, but I hit the wall. So, but yeah, I was able to play some strategy, and I guess get up there and get right around where I thought I'd finish, third to sixth or seventh. So, had a lot of fun, and yeah, congrats to Tom and Dustin. They did a heck of a job. But yeah, no, I don't think even on any sort of even keel strategy, I don't think I would have had anything for them. Those two were driving away from the field every chance they had. So, um, yeah.
Well, you definitely had a pretty good race, bringing it home third. Even though you say you're not very good on strategy, you pulled one out tonight with being on the right strategy. That 9 paint scheme, is there a reason you picked it, or are you just a Chase Elliott fan?
I'm a Chase Elliott guy. I was a Jeff Gordon guy. I was trying to get a Gordon throwback ready for tonight, but I didn't get a hold of my people in time. I've been working and moving all week, so didn't have a lot of time to do some Gordon stuff. I'll have a Gordon one tomorrow night. But yeah, just a big Chase Elliott guy. I love drinking A-Shock. I spend way too much money on those too, so if anyone from A-Shock's listening, check your accounts because I would be well worth the sponsor. But no, I'm kidding. But yeah, just it's a good-looking scheme and decided to run it tonight. But shout out to Jeff Gordon on Throwback Weekend. Wish I could have ran the rainbow truck tonight.
All those rainbow paint schemes out there, you couldn't find one on Trading Paints?
Not. I like to have that Hendrick font, man. I like to have that Hendrick font, and I'm not good with the paint stuff yet. So I didn't get a hold of my guy in time. So my fault. Had a busy week, was moving and stuff. But yeah, still had a lot of fun, regardless of the paint scheme.
Congratulations on third place. Moves you up into 13th in the points. So on a good run here. I don't remember how many actually make it to the playoffs, but this is a good start to the next few races before the playoffs start. So any shout outs for you?
Well, congrats to Dustin and Tom. Two well-deserving dudes, two awesome racers, two awesome people. So always good to see them up here racing for wins. And thank you to you guys for calling the race. Thank you to ARCS. Thank you to my guys back at Team Sideswipe. Yeah, we'll keep trucking away, trying to get a win in something this year. We're getting closer, but I'll get there. But yeah, try to make as many Saturdays as I can. I didn't know I was 13th in points. I've only ran 3 or 4 races this year, so yeah, maybe show up for a couple more Saturdays, see if we can't get us a playoff spot. But I appreciate you guys, appreciate everybody at ARCS, and again, congrats to Dustin and Tom, and hope everybody enjoyed the show.
Well, Pete, handing it back over to you for second place tonight, Dustin Painter.
Man, great, definitely a great job by Seth Watson. Dustin Painter, I tell you what, man, you ran one hell of a race, very consistent. As the laps were winding down before that last round of green flag pit stops kicked off, we were curious who was going to be able to make it. Were some pitting too early? Were some pitting too late? Were some trying to save fuel? Were some backing down the speed in order to be able to go the distance? And you were able to bring it on home, P number 2. And this is definitely going to catapult you very, very well going to Lime Rock next week. Talk us through your race. Were there any areas of concern, and are you looking forward to next week's road course?
Not really. Pretty much, I actually pitted early for gas to try to make it to the end of the stage and accidentally took 2 tires. And when I did, started dead last and drove up and passed everybody and won the stage. And from there, I realized, well, hey, that's actually put a bunch of people lap down. That was probably a good strategy by accident. And the truck felt great and stuff. But overall, I actually am a spotter in real life on the weekends, so I don't get to race on Saturday nights normally. We got rained out tonight, so got to race with these guys. Probably won't see another one until who knows when our racing season finally ends. So pretty much this is a joy to run with these guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're able to come in here and snag a P2 from a series regular, some of these guys might be happy that you're not here week in and week out. But you can bet the guy that's in the car appreciates the eyes atop the rooftop. Congratulations on what could be a 1 or 2, maybe a 3-off race here in the ARCS Saturday Night Showdown series. Any quick shout outs for you?
Yeah, I used a spot for Danny Bone. That was his truck that I was running tonight. So Danny Bone Racing, of course, always usually run some of his stuff. And he actually ran the was it ticksuck.org truck, but unfortunately somebody didn't have that on iRacing yet. He ran that Friday night, so just shout out to him and stuff like that. But overall, shout out to Outlaw Racing, which I'm a part of. We finished 1-2 tonight, so that was pretty cool.
I'll tell you what, old Swat's here in the booth. His brother, Shad, is actually really, really good at building all kinds of different paint schemes. If you reach out to him after the race is over, not to kind of push any business on anybody, but if you reach out to him once the race is over, maybe you can kind of go ahead and create you a ticksuck.com paint scheme, because I'd like to see that as well, because, yeah, they do suck. So congratulations on that, P2.
All right, thanks, guys, for broadcasting.
You got it. SWAT, Tom Sears in this, I mean, beautiful looking number 14. Looks just like somebody took a gallon of highlighter and dropped it on this truck and just peeled away the rest of the decals to bring the black through. Great looking truck. He's with you.
Tom, you got a copy, buddy.
Do that, buddy.
All right, we didn't pick drivers today for this race. I think we're trying to, break that broadcaster's curse that everybody talks about. But if you would have listened to the pre-race, you'd have probably heard me hinting towards the driver that I would have picked if we were making picks tonight, and that was you. Just looking at the stats, looking the way you were driving the practice, you weren't, the top fastest guy in practice, but you were steady with your numbers. You qualified, I think, 7th or 8th for the race, which is where I was seeing you in practice, so I thought you were hovering right around that same time spot. But you hadn't had any wins this season, and I called it out in the pre-race. I thought this would be your chance to get that first race of the season, and you bring it home first tonight. I also want to be the first to tell you, you are now the points leader for the standings for ARCS Truck Series. You are up in the front by 4 points, so congratulations on now becoming the points leader. But great race, like I said. Love the paint scheme. Pete and I kept talking about it all night. It's one of my favorite paint schemes to see. Just that neon kind of yellowish green tint, highlighter, whatever you want to call it, mixed with the black. It just looks so smooth, so clean. I love that paint scheme. And the lights at Darlington shining off of it made it look even better. So congratulations on the win. Break us down your winning strategy here.
All right. So first off, I just want to say thank you for broadcast and all the work that you guys do on your end. Really appreciate that. Thanks to my amazing fiance of supporting me, and thank you for calling out the paint scheme. Because I made that myself. Obviously, it's a little bit thrown together, but I'm just trying to make it so that you could see it. For the broadcast, and for the other drivers. Self-clearing
Got
goes
that
on.
caution yellow tape on it.
Yeah,
Got to drive up
a
behind you
spotter.
with sunglasses on.
Yeah, exactly. Not everyone's a sharp-eyed spotter like Tom, who congrats to him also. I learned a lot from him in this race. We're on the same team too, so we talk and all that. But he ran a great race, saving tires out there. I did the same thing stage 1. I just kind of took a chance going down pit road. I figured we could make it on gas, maybe, and we ended up being able to do that, which was really detriment to the field, which pit lane was open. So I took the chance, and that really paid off big time. And then at the end there, I actually spun out, come the pit road on the green, and somehow
Saved it. Yeah.
It's on the replay. We saw it.
Oh my god! I was like, this again is my luck. But I was able to not have a slow pit stop and get back out there and grab the win at Darlington, which is my absolute favorite racetrack in the world. Any discipline of racing, I don't care what it is. In my opinion, Darlington the most difficult oval on the face of the earth. So I'm very, very, very happy to win here, and thankful for all my teammates in the broadcast. All you guys.
Well, we definitely appreciate you putting on a show. You're consistently at the front every week. I talked about it in the pre-race. You normally don't qualify, great. You're in the middle of the field or maybe towards the back, or you don't even qualify, and you're always there at the end in the top 10 battling it out We've seen you at the front of the super speedway races. We've seen you on some of the other tracks, the Mile and a Half and stuff, being up front. With a Lime Rock road course, that's not really, it's not a traditional road course for NASCAR. So it's actually my favorite road course to drive on iRacing, especially back with the MX-5s when you could actually use your shifter and you didn't have to use your paddle shifters. I loved, short shifting and downshifting into those corners and letting the car slide around in a different gear. I was kind of sad when they switched it to paddles only, but it's one of my favorite tracks. So coming to that track, what kind of expectation do we see for next week? I heard you just say it's one of your favorite too. So does that mean we could see you up towards the front next week?
So, it's a Saturday, so you hope you can do the race first off. But also, I live in Massachusetts, so that track is really close to me. So it's one of my favorite road courses. It's really simple, but it's really easy, just as simple to make a mistake and go off the track into all that grass. So we'll see what happens. There's I'll be honest, like 6 or 7 guys in here that are absolutely lights out on all the road courses. So hopefully we can mix it up with them and get a clean finish somewhere up there. Just hoping for a clean run, really. It should be a fun race.
I lived in New England for a long time as a kid, so being down in Boston was one of my favorite things. So congratulations on the big win. First win of the season, moves you into the top spot in the point standings. Only, 10 races left before the playoffs start, so a lot of races still to go, but you're on the right track, getting the first win of the season halfway through the season. It seems like you're on a good streak here to try to get to the playoffs.
We're working on it. Thanks guys for the broadcast. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys putting on the show. Pete, back to you, bud.
I definitely appreciate it, and I definitely wanted to say, congratulations, which we didn't give a chance to very early, to Cody Pannell. He was tonight's Smil Racing Designs pole winner, so congratulations to him. And is very, very fast pole time around Darlington Speedway. And then, of course, to our top 3 on getting it done. And all the racers all night long, just about green, flag to flag. So congratulations again to Tom Sears, Dustin Painter, and Seth Watson. They are our Smil Racing Designs podium winners. Also, big thank you to Midwest Barbecue. I put their web link out there in chat for all your portable barbecue needs. Go on over, look them up, see what they've got to offer. Midwest BBQ Equipment or equip.com. Look them up, see if they're near you, see what they can help you with for your next shindig. All their equipment looks top notch. I'm sure the food will come out all the same, as well as Chicks and Honey over on Instagram. Go ahead and look them up. Chicks, CHIX, and with the N sign Honey. Again, on Instagram. It's an Instagram page all about teaching people how to create a self-sufficient homestead. They're teaching others how to turn raw land into self-sufficient property. Everything from solar, self-building your house, creating a garden, raising your own animals to provide meat, dairy, and goods for your family. You want to know how to be self-sufficient and live off of your own land? Go on over on Instagram to Chicks and Honey. Look them up, give them a follow. Always all kinds of great projects that you could start for yourself. Swats, next week is going to be Lime Rock. I've never personally turned a lap there. Definitely looking forward to it with the Shake and Bake Indy Series on Thursday nights with Frozen and I behind the mic. It's been a lot of fun in those cars at those tracks. Going to be interesting to see how the trucks handle that road course, as you said, up in New England. But, buddy, thank you very much one more time for coming out. I definitely want to thank everybody out there in chat for coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, keeping me and Swat's company all night long. Swat, you looking forward to next week?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said to Tom, Lime Rock's one of my favorite tracks to drive on. I loved it driving on the MX-5s. I started my road creation career on iRacing, driving the MX-5s on Lime Rock the first week it was on here, or first week I was on here. Lime Rock was the first track that was available, and I sucked at it for the first probably 4 or 5 official races that I was running in, and then I really got a handle on shifting and different spots and things like that, and I just fell in love with that track. I'll go and race it as much as possible. I wish they would switch it back to where you were allowed to use a shifter, but even with the paddles, I'm still pretty fast at it, so I love that track. I'll definitely be looking forward to seeing how these trucks can handle the turns. There's some really hard turns in that on that track to where these trucks are gonna have to really slow down to get through them, and we'll see if everybody makes it through the corners or not.
All right. And again, everybody out there in chat, definitely want to thank One Man Army Miles 23 giving us the follow. Big Jim, glad you were able to make it, even if it was a little bit late. Definitely appreciate it. But guys and gals, we will catch y'all next Saturday night, again, right about 10:15 Eastern for these ARCS Saturday Night Showdown Truck Series live from Lime Rock. Take it easy.